memorizing Julius Caesar, Friends, Romans, Countrymen, the soliloquy, well, not soliloquy, monologue by Mark Antony. I'm going to do this line by line. I may jump around, go back and forth, take sections. I may interject commentary. We'll play by ear. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Okay, obviously the crowd, he's surrounded by crowds of people, and they're all screaming, and he has to get through to them. Friends, Romans, countrymen. Okay, first he calls them friends, then Romans, friends meaning everybody, Romans, then countrymen. Pay attention to me. Give me a moment to talk. Lend me your ears. So, once he gets their attention, he starts to talk to them. I'm here to bury Caesar, not to praise him. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. They've lost their mind, and he's trying to get them to calm down. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Now he's going to explain why he's there. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Because they're against Caesar. They don't want to hear what he has to say. So he has to diffuse the situation by telling them that they don't have anything to worry about, because he's not there to praise Caesar as he should, as they all should. So they don't need to worry. He's not there to create a problem for everybody else that has felt that it was just to kill Caesar. So, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. So he says this to them, knowing full well that this is a lie, but he's trying to be on their side, let them think that he's on their side, to calm them down so that he can speak. That way they will listen to him. And also to reassure the men that have allowed him to speak that he's on their side, that he's not the enemy. I come to bury Caesar, which is true, not to praise him. That's a lie. The evil that men do lives after them. That's another lie. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. So, the crowd is the mob, if you like. They're going crazy because here's the body of Caesar. They probably want to desecrate it and probably kill him. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Once he gets their attention, once he knows he has them listening, he speaks. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. That's how difficult it is for him to say this, but he has to. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. Now he's addressing what Brutus has said, that the reason why Caesar was killed was because he was ambitious and they needed to stop him. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. And Brutus is a noble man, so he has to be careful how he speaks about Brutus, because the crowd is with Brutus, is in favor of Brutus. And if you attack Brutus, you attack the crowd, and you're finished. But also, Brutus is a noble man, and there's no denying that. Why he has killed Caesar and been part of it, we don't know. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. That's a fact. If it was so, so he's putting a question to that, but he has to be very careful. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And he's agreeing. And grievously has Caesar answered it. He's been killed, he's dead, he's answered for his crime. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Let him be, leave him alone. Here on the leave of Brutus and the rest. For Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. So, he's making sure the people know that he is there with Brutus and the other men's, the powerful men's, permission. They've allowed him to speak because they're honorable and they have nothing to hide. And that's why he's there speaking. So it's okay for him to speak in Caesar's funeral because he's been given permission by the powerful. Because they're honorable men, which is true. But they've killed Caesar because he was ambitious. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Here on the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. Now a little backstory here. And he's reminding them, he was my friend, faithful and just to me. Because he is saying, I feel he was just to me, even though now you don't feel that way. You've all against him. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. So again, confirming and saying what's true, and everybody knows that Brutus is an honorable man. And again, saying that the reason Caesar was killed because Brutus says he was ambitious. And if it was so, it was a grievous fault. Him being ambitious was a grievous fault. And grievously has Caesar answered it with his death. And I'm here talking because Brutus and the rest of the powerful have given me permission to speak at Caesar's funeral. Now going back. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Because the crowd does not want to hear from Antony. Because they know Antony is a good friend who's very loyal to Caesar. So they despise Caesar. He was a traitor. And so they don't want his best friend talking about Caesar. He can't possibly say anything they want to hear. So they're all out of control, the mob. So he has to get their attention. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously has Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men? Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. Now let's talk about Brutus here. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? So we're talking here about Brutus. Brutus has brought a lot of glory for Rome, and he's been handsomely paid, rewarded. And he has become very wealthy. Was this ambitious? Was this ambitious in Caesar's eyes? And the answer is no. Not for it to become an issue. So going back. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. And it's very difficult because Brutus is an honorable man. So he's trying to understand how this could have led to him killing Caesar. There's a lot of questions here with no clear answers, because Brutus says he deserved to be killed, and Brutus is an honorable man. So it's very confusing. But all we know is that Caesar has been killed because he was ambitious. But Brutus is an ambitious soldier himself. He's gone out to war and been rewarded handsomely, and he's done this many times, and because he is ambitious. But for Caesar, that was not an issue. But for Brutus, being ambitious is an issue, and yet Brutus is ambitious. So none of this makes sense. But they have given me, because Brutus and the rest of them, of the rest of these powerful men who have killed Caesar, have given him permission to speak to the crowd at Caesar's funeral. Here on the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. Talking about Caesar. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar has wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? So Caesar was offered the crown to become king. And if he had been ambitious, he would have accepted. He was offered the crown of king 3 times. 3 times he refused. So the question is, was him refusing the title, the crown of king, being ambitious? It contradicts that. But yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And the problem is that Brutus is an honorable man. So we can't get around that, because Brutus is an honorable man. And Brutus says he was ambitious. And the question is, you all, everybody, all the Romans, all the countrymen saw that Caesar refused the crown of king. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the question is, to all of you, was this ambition? So, who's telling the truth here? Yet, Brutus says he was ambitious, and coming from Brutus, it's a problem because Brutus is an honorable man. There's no denying that Brutus is an honorable man. And sure, he is an honorable man. This is solid. There's no denying this. And Brutus says he was ambitious. And that's why Caesar is dead. Friends, the crowds are ready to tear Antony and anybody that speaks in favor of Caesar, tear him or her apart. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. The crowd decides to hear him. Give him a shot at explaining himself. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Here, on the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend. That's why I'm here. He's my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He has brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar has wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff, yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You ought to see that under Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak, let's get this together, let's get this clear. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reasons. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. Going back. Well, let's speak a little bit here. Sees Antony's there to speak. There's no denying that Brutus is an honorable man. They're all honorable men. They've justified his death, and that's perfectly acceptable to everybody around. Nobody's going to mourn Caesar's death. I am. I, Antony, am going to mourn his death. I want to speak at his funeral. I want him to get a proper funeral. Because he was my friend, and he was faithful and just to me. He was faithful to everyone, but everybody's against him, so I can't say that. But he was my friend. He was faithful and just to me. Yet, I'm not here to disprove what Brutus spoke. But here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? They don't care. They've forgotten his love, their love for him. What's blinded them? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, because they become beasts, wild animals. And men have lost their reason. And Antony is losing the battle. And at the same time he is mourning Caesar's death. There's the body in horrific condition. Bear with me. He's mourning Caesar. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. And I will stop it here. Thank you for listening. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment if you'd like to hear more of this. I've had others where I've spent more time memorizing. but you get the gist of it. Thank you, and have a nice day.